Welcome back to Bookish Dives. We've spent our past sessions unpacking some really fascinating reads, haven't we?
We definitely have. From, big cosmic questions to the details of peak performance.
Exactly. And today, we're shifting gears a bit. We're diving into a book that, well, it promises to unlock the secrets of human connection.
Yeah, maybe even transform your social world.
That's the idea.
Indeed. Our focus for you today is Leil Lowndes' How to Be a People Magnet, Finding Friends and Lovers and Keeping Them for Life.
Quite a title.
It is. And this isn't just, another self-help guide. She actually presents it as a practical contract with yourself.
A contract. Interesting.
Yeah, outlining these specific clauses for social interaction.
Yeah.
And what makes it compelling, I think, is that these aren't just her opinions.
Okay.
They're apparently backed by sociological studies, real-world observations, things she's seen and researched.
Right. So our mission here in this deep dive is really to pull out the most actionable, the most intriguing bits from the book.
Give you that shortcut.
Exactly. A shortcut to understanding what it takes to become, well, that magnetic person everyone seems drawn to.
From those first hellos to, building bonds that last?
We'll try to cover Lowndes' core strategies. So let's get into it.
Okay.
So the book kicks off with a really powerful story, doesn't it? A personal one.
It does. Very personal. Lowndes talks about a period of severe depression.
Yeah.
And she realized that her life, everything she'd built, would have just completely fallen apart without two specific friends. Phil and Giorgio, she names them.
Wow. That's a stark way to start. Really hits home how much we need people.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how she takes that really personal, scary moment and turns it into this broader concept.
Which is?
This idea of having knights in your life.
Yeah.
Building a friend insurance policy, she calls it.
A friend insurance policy. I like that framing.
Yeah, and she's very clear. You can't buy this with money.
Right.
You pay the premiums with, and I quote, your time, your personality, and your love. It really pushes back against that idea that we should all be completely self-reliant.
Yeah, the rugged individualist myth.
Exactly. It suggests even the strongest, most capable person needs a solid, diverse support system for, well, life's curveballs.
It definitely makes you stop and think, what kind of insurance do I have? Do you have, for when things inevitably get tough?
That's the question she wants us to ask.
Okay, so if these connections are like our insurance policy, what are the practical steps? How does she say we actually start making those vital connections?
Well, a huge chunk of the book is dedicated to exactly that. Mastering first encounters, making strangers instantly feel well-liked, comfortable.
Yeah. First impressions. Makes sense.
One of her big ideas is communicating in your shoes. Clause number 1, actually.
In your shoes.
Yeah, basically putting yourself in their perspective. She gives this great example of Dale, a life insurance salesman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. The wrong number guy.
That's him. Even when someone dialed wrong, he wouldn't just say wrong number. He'd say something like, oh, I'm so sorry, you just wasted your quarter. You'll have to look that number up again because no one named Betty Ann works here.
Huh. That's brilliant. He's acknowledging their frustration.
Exactly. It turned a potentially annoying thing into, a mini positive interaction. It's all about empathy.
Deeply tied to empathy, yeah.
Yeah.
Shifting the focus off yourself.
Totally. And this carries over into nonverbal stuff, too, like her iMessages idea.
Well, messages.
She suggests that even just holding eye contact for an extra second, with a cashier or a barista, someone providing a service,
Yeah.
it sends this powerful unspoken signal. You are special. I see you. I find you interesting. It's about making people feel seen, not invisible.
I love that. It's so simple, but how often do we just rush past those people?
All the time.
She also talks about the smile, right? But not just any smile.
Oh, yeah. The slow spillover smile.
Ah.
Clause number 5. She makes a big distinction between that and a quick automatic flash smile we often do.
The one-size-fits-all smile.
Right. A real people magnet smile, she says. It slow erupts from their heart and just spreads across their face.
Like that baby in the waiting room story.
Exactly. Melting the grumpy old curmudgeon with this genuine, toothless grin. It's about radiating actual warmth, not just performing politeness.
That genuine warmth. It connects to her point about nonverbals being key, right?
Definitely. They'll listen to their heart clause.
Yes.
Clause 6. She cites a study, and okay, studies vary, but this one found 50% of information is visual.
50%.
Yeah, 30% auditory, tone of voice, that kind of thing. And only 20% from the actual words people say.
Wow. So most of it isn't even the content.
Not according to that study, yeah.
Yeah.
And she tells that story about Deborah teaching her daughters the guess how I feel game.
Right, by watching body language, fidgeting.
Not just listening, tuning into those unspoken signals to really understand what's going on beneath the surface.
Okay, so eyes, smile, body language. What about physical touch? Like handshakes?
Oh, she does not leave that to chance. Her 5-star handshake, clause 15, is like super specific.
Choreographed, it said?
Pretty much. Maintain eye contact, make sure the webs of your thumbs touch, light pressure on the top part of the hand.
Metacarpals, she called them.
Yeah, those bones, palms close, perpendicular. She even shares her own mortifying story about having a cold, wet paw in high school to drive the point home.
Uh-huh, yeah. A bad handshake really sticks with you.
It does. It signals confidence, or lack thereof, respect.
Yeah.
And it's the same idea with hugs.
The honest hug.
Right, clause 16. She contrasts the superficial A-frame hug, where it's mostly shoulders and air.
Uh-huh. The awkward lean in.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Contrast it with the true heart-to-heart hug, where your upper bodies actually connect with warmth.
Okay.
And what's interesting is she also notes a study suggesting men can sometimes experience marked psychological distress during hugs.
Really?
Yeah, highlighting that there are cultural, maybe gendered nuances around physical greetings that we need to be sensitive to. It's not one size fits all.
So it sounds like all these techniques, the eyes, the smile, the handshake, the hug, it really boils down to making the other person feel genuinely seen and valued.
That's the core of it.
Are there common ways people mess this up, like pitfalls when trying these things?
Oh, absolutely. Lowndes is really clear. The key is genuineness.
Right.
If that slow spillover smile doesn't actually reach your eyes, if it feels fake, people pick up on that instantly. It can seem insincere, even creepy.
So performing the actions without the real feeling behind them backfires.
Totally. She warns against the plastic smile or the limp dead fish handshake because they scream disinterest. The goal isn't to manipulate or trick people. It's about learning to consciously express the warmth and interest you hopefully genuinely feel or want to cultivate.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if the problem isn't the technique, but just feeling confident enough to even try? That's a huge hurdle for lots of people.
Oh, for sure. She calls it the fatal FUD factor.
FUD.
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That inner voice that holds you back.
Right. We all know that voice.
And she offers pretty direct ways to fight it, or frag it, as she puts it. One really powerful idea is about your environment.
How so?
Basically actively removing negative influences and seeking out people who build you up. She tells this amazing story about an Olympic skater, Suko.
Skater, yeah.
Her performance apparently improved dramatically, like night and day, but only after she cut ties with someone in her circle, Akiro, who was just constantly critical.
Wow. Just removing that one negative voice made that much difference.
According to the story, yes. It really highlights how much our surroundings shape how we see ourselves, our confidence levels.
That really underscores the power of who we hang out with.
Massively. And it links nicely to another clause. What can I learn from this? Clause 19.
Okay.
This one's about mindset, how optimists tend to bounce back from mistakes instead of beating themselves up.
Which is easy to do.
So easy. They ask constructive questions. Okay, that didn't work. What can I learn? What could I do differently next time?
Shifting from blame to learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she mentions a study, I think it was the University of Pennsylvania, with insurance salespeople. It showed that the ones with this optimistic, learning-focused, explanatory style significantly outperformed the others and were more resilient. They didn't quit as easily.
So mindset is huge for confidence and persistence. What about for people who just dread walking into a room full of strangers? That schmoozophobia, as she calls it.
Yeah, the sheer terror of small talk.
Yeah.
She has some wonderfully, maybe slightly quirky, but practical tips for that, too.
Like?
Well, there's the Emperor's New Clothes, Clause 14.
The Emperor's New Clothes, what does that involve?
It's a visualization trick, basically. When you walk into that room, you imagine your royalty gliding in, and you mentally acknowledge your imaginary friends across the room.
Imaginary friends, seriously.
Seriously, the idea is it makes you look instantly confident, at ease, like you already know people there. It's about projecting confidence to help you feel it.
Okay, a mental hack, I can see that.
And then there's the ultimate cure she proposes for shyness, which sounds kind of scary at first.
Which is?
Always talk to strangers. Clause 18.
Whoa. Okay, that definitely goes against what most of us were taught as kids.
Right. But her point is it's about practice. Constant low-stakes practice.
How does she suggest doing that?
Little things. Get a funny-looking dog that people will comment on. Ride an elevator up and down just to have a reason to chat with whoever gets in.
Ride an elevator to nowhere. Okay, that is quirky.
It is. But the point is just building that social muscle, making interaction less of a big deal through sheer repetition. It's not about nailing every conversation, it's just about having them.
So it's less about faking confidence and more about creating opportunities to practice it, to build it incrementally.
Exactly. It's about finding mechanisms to push your comfort zone just a little bit, consistently.
What's another key insight there for building that social muscle if you're shy?
I think it's the emphasis on consistency
Mm-hmm.
over like big heroic efforts. For always talk to strangers, the goal isn't to make a best friend every single time you leave the house.
Right, that's too much pressure.
Way too much. It's about the small wins,
Mm.
making eye contact and saying hi to the bus driver, asking someone for the time, complimenting someone's scarf.
Micro interactions.
Exactly.
Mm.
Each tiny interaction chips away at that FUD factor, that fear, uncertainty, doubt. It builds your internal script for just engaging with the world. So bigger social events start to feel less terrifying over time.
It's about the daily reps, like going to the gym.
Precisely.
Ah.
Incremental growth through a daily commitment to facing that small bit of discomfort.
Okay, so we've covered first impressions, building confidence. What about going deeper? Sustaining relationships, friendships.
Yeah, moving beyond the initial connection, Lowndes has a whole part on this. She introduces what she calls friendship's first commandment.
Some serious. What is it?
You must have something to give
Yeah.
in order to receive.
So it's not just about taking?
Not at all. It's captured in her Growing My Gifts clause, clause 21. It's about figuring out what you bring to the table.
Your gifts.
Yeah, and not necessarily like material gifts.
Yeah.
She tells that story about her roommate, Phil, who was a computer whiz.
Right. He helped her out constantly with tech problems.
Selflessly helped her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his gift, his time, his skills, his support. And those kinds of genuine contributions are what build strong, lasting bonds. It's about being a valuable part of someone else's life.
This idea of earning friendship, it shifts the whole dynamic, doesn't it? From just passively hoping people like you to actively contributing.
Absolutely. Bringing real value. And part of that is also showing appreciation.
How does she suggest doing that?
Well, for friends in general, there's plan a sweet surprise, clause 22. Just small, thoughtful gestures to show you care, that they're special to you. Doesn't have to be big or expensive.
Little things mean a lot.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then she has specific advice for men expressing affection to their male friends.
Mm-hmm.
Clause 23, I love ya, man. It acknowledges it can be awkward sometimes, so it suggests socially acceptable ways to do it, especially in public or emotional settings like, say, a wedding or a funeral.
Helping guys strengthen those bonds without feeling like they're breaking some unspoken code.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to connect authentically within social norms.
Speaking of norms, she dives into gender communication differences quite a bit too, right?
She does offer some pretty specific observations, yeah. Recognizing that men and women often, though not always, process things differently.
Like what?
Well, for women interacting with men, there's let him sulk in silence, clause 41.
Let him sulk.
Kind of, yeah. The advice is basically don't push a man too hard to talk about his problems immediately. Acknowledge that sometimes men prefer to process things internally first, or might see admitting a problem as weakness.
Okay. And for men interacting with women?
Conversely, what's wrong, lamb chop? Clause 43. It encourages men to directly ask an upset woman what's wrong.
Lamb chop.
Yeah, the phrasing is a bit dated maybe, but the point is
Ask directly.
ask directly. Because women often perceive that direct inquiry as caring, as support, not as an intrusion. And they often want to talk it out, to verbally process.
Interesting contrast. What else?
There's let him lecture, clause 44, for women.
Let him lecture. Oh, boy.
I know it sounds potentially problematic, but her point is about understanding why a man might sometimes seem to be chiding or explaining something obvious after a mistake.
Okay.
She suggests it often stems from childhood conditioning boys being taught to learn the lesson rather than just receive comfort. So understanding that might help a woman react calmly instead of defensively.
Seeing the pattern, not just the immediate interaction.
Kind of. And for men, there's seek her social assistance, clause 45.
Ask women for help with?
With people problems.
Yeah.
Navigating social situations, dealing with tricky interpersonal dynamics, like maybe how to fire someone empathetically.
Why women specifically?
Lowndes suggests women often have, she calls it a bit more DNA of the sensitivity type, more innate social intuition, offering more nuanced, empathetic solutions.
Okay, so these are observations on common tendencies, not rigid rules, meant to help bridge potential communication gaps.
Exactly. They're Heuristics, maybe, based on her observations and some research she cites. Not meant to stereotype, but to offer potential insights.
Gotcha. Now, shifting gears slightly, what about romance? Cupid's secrets, as she calls them.
Right. She even gets into the brain chemistry a bit, talks about phenylethylamine, PEA.
The love drug.
That's the one. Responsible for that initial high, that obsessive focus when you're first falling for someone, that butterflies in your stomach feeling.
Yeah, that phase.
But she contrasts that initial passionate love with the calmer, more secure companionate love that develops later. That's more about endorphins, comfort, deep attachment.
So understanding that relationships naturally evolve beyond that first chemical rush is important for longevity.
Crucial. Otherwise, people might think the love is gone when really it's just changed form.
Yeah.
She also touches on some complex stuff, like why some women might be drawn to bad boys.
Oh, really? What's her take?
She draws a kind of provocative parallel to intermittent reinforcement. Like in gambling, inconsistent rewards or attention can create this really powerful, addictive cycle that's hard to break.
Huh. That's a dark but interesting psychological angle.
It is. Understanding patterns that make unhealthy attractions feel compelling.
So for people who are actually looking for a healthy relationship, what's the advice?
Well, Clause 35 is pretty blunt. Get off my duff.
Just get out there.
Literally. Go to events, places that genuinely interest you. Alone. At least twice a month.
Why alone? And why places you like?
Places you like increase the chance of meeting someone compatible, someone who shares your interests. And going alone makes you more approachable, more likely to actually meet people rather than just sticking with a friend.
Makes sense. Increase your odds by being in the right places and being open.
And then, specifically for women, there's, if I want to date, I must initiate. Clause 36.
Empowering women to make the first move.
Not necessarily ask for the date, but initiate the interaction. She argues that often just a simple smile from a woman is the curtain cue that gives a man the green light.
The signal.
The signal for the dance of intimacy, as she puts it. And interestingly, she suggests men will often then think initiating was their idea.
Okay, subtle but effective.
Seems to be the idea.
Okay, one last big area the book covers is networking, right? But she reframes it.
Completely reframes it. Forget greasy, self-serving networking. Clause 51 is sharing your gifts.
Sharing your gifts, like the friendship thing earlier.
Exactly. It's about seeing networking not as taking, but as a mutual exchange of talents, help, information. What unique value can you offer others?
Shifting from what can I get to what can I give?
Precisely. And this leads to building your personal round table.
Your round table.
Yeah. Through the night recruiting clause number 53, it's about proactively identifying potential knights.
Knights again. So people who can help you.
People who can offer support, expertise, different perspectives. Not just high-powered people, but maybe your doctor, a good lawyer, sure, but also a reliable auto mechanic, maybe someone who knows local media, a diverse group.
And the key is recruiting them before you need them.
Yes. Building those connections, making those deposits in the relationship bank before there's a crisis. That's the core of her friend insurance policy, creating that robust support system proactively.
And this isn't just about professional contacts, right? It's closer to home, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Clause 54 is the good neighbor clause.
Good neighbors. Seems obvious, but maybe overlooked.
Hugely overlooked, she argues. She gives these vivid examples. What if your car breaks down late at night and you need help? What if you're away and a fire breaks out near your house?
Yeah, you need people nearby.
You need people nearby you actually know and who know you, who you've built some connection with. Investing in the people right next door is profoundly important. Making those small deposits, borrowing sugar, watching their place when they're away, just saying hello.
Building that hyperlocal support network?
Exactly, as part of the overall people magnet ecosystem.
Wow. Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway for you, for the listener?
I think it's that How to Be a People Magnet lays out this really compelling blueprint. It argues pretty convincingly that being magnetic, building strong connections, it's not some innate gift you're born with.
It's not magic.
Not magic at all. It's a learned skill set. A series of conscious choices and practices, from tiny things like how you smile or shake hands.
Micro expressions.
Right, to the macro strategies, like deliberately building that supportive community, that round table of knights. It's a contract with yourself to practice connection.
Yeah, the book really pushes you to look at your own habits, doesn't it? To self-reflect.
Constantly. Understand your patterns, maybe where you're falling short, and then consciously implement these clauses, these techniques she outlines, which she grounds in research.
It feels like a path, really. A way to move from maybe feeling awkward or anxious in social situations.
Or just overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah. To feeling more confident, more capable of genuinely connecting with people on a level that actually matters.
Exactly. It challenges us to get beyond just superficial chit-chat and really cultivate those meaningful, potentially lifelong bonds, the kind that, as her own story showed, can quite literally save your life.
We've definitely only scratched the surface here. The book is incredibly detailed.
Oh, incredibly. So many clauses we didn't even touch on.
But hopefully this bookish dive has given you a really solid head start, a good feel for the core ideas on becoming your own people magnet.
Yeah, some practical things to maybe try out.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, this summary and guide, definitely make sure to follow Bookish Dives. We unpack fascinating books like this all the time.
Always aiming to get you well informed, quickly and thoroughly.
We are. So here's something to think about until next time. Consider if your life really needed that insurance policy of friendship and love right now, today, how well covered would you actually be?
That's a tough question.
It is. And maybe what's just one principle, one clause from this book that you feel ready to sign on to, ready to actually apply in your life starting today?